Hey, good morning, shelter. It is 6 a.m., so you know what that means. It's our daily 6 at 6. Now, we are in our final week of our series of Is It Living? We've reached the very end of Miss Gren. We have talked about movement. We have talked about sense. We have talked about reproduction. We've talked about growth. We talked about excretion, and we've talked about nutrition. And we are on our final one, which is respiration. Now, for those of you who were not here this past Sunday, I've got to say it was a breath of fresh air. You know, we're going to talk about respiration all week this week, but I want to talk about that phrase right there, a breath of fresh air. And it's one of those things, when we look at living organisms, respiration is literally taking something in, converting it, and using it almost for a sense of energy. And so when we breathe, we are basically converting air to use oxygen, and we actually exhale, some of the things that our body doesn't use, which is nitrogen. And this Sunday was a breath of fresh air. It was taking in something that literally, for so many people, was that essence of life that was needed. We can sit here and we can talk about these 6 at 6s. We can engage with them every single morning, but it is people. It is communities. It is the lifeblood of this church, just service and getting together and listening to Bill's band, listening to music with Mick up there. It is all of those things that encompass when something is living. I believe in this idea of a personal relationship, but I also believe that the relationship we have with Christ is a communal one as well. It is sharing ideas, sharing differences of opinions. We got stuck for too long in our own place, in our own heads, in our own minds, and now we got to come together. And this coming together was something that was so amazing and so beautiful. For those of you who are in service, I think you actually missed probably one of the best services that I've ever seen with the kids. They got to kind of see something that was living and share something and take part of something in naming something. These chickens that were brought in from Patrick, who's Jasmine's boyfriend. They came in, and it was so cool to watch these kids gather around this beautiful tarp and just sit with one another who have probably been absent from friends, who have been absent from family, who have been disconnected. And, Marge, who taught an amazing lesson, gave a really unique point of what it means to be cooped up. It's almost like we've been stuck in the same place, breathing the same air, the same thoughts, the same emotions, and it's cultivated a sense of being cooped. And it was so nice to watch these kids laugh, trying to feed a chicken, kids absolutely afraid of the camera, trying to get it out of their face. And then, heading over into the main service and watching people enjoying the service, just engaging with it. Unless Chad Hughley, he was on his phone for a little bit. I caught him right there. But for everyone else, fully engaged, fully communal, having a great time. I'm not giving Chad a hard time. I love that dude. I just caught him for 2 seconds. But just being engaged with our community, listening to Pastor Jay in person. Man, just that presence of being physically somewhere other than our own living room, listening to a word of God. And then, of course, being outside. Now, I tried my best, people. That tarp was massive. It took way too much work, but it held. It held with the wind. And I am only thanking God for that, because it was church is out. 4 wires. And then my heart just sank, because I'm we're done. But it was so cool, because for me, it was a little bit me, Justin, John, putting it up there. But then everyone saw that we were panicked, and then there was 8 people who were helping. And guys, for too long, we've been trying to do this on our own, and we just realized we can't. We can't live outside of these connective pieces. We can't really feel alive. And so it was just so overwhelming for me to have people like come in and pull and help and hold down wires and put up wires and have ideas that I've never had before. I'm like, oh, this is actually how you should do it. Thank you. But it's a little late now, but I learned something. I'm growing. And guys, I cannot be more excited for what we've started again, which is coming back on a Sunday. Now we're going to have so many more things, so many more service opportunities, because we are the shelter. We're the place where people come to receive rest, to engage with a fresh air, take a breath of fresh air. So I want to thank each and every one of you who came out this Sunday, who was a part of it. If you missed it, we understand there's a lot of things still going on, but we just want to say we love you. This is a new time to be thankful for. We are still praying for you guys in every single way. We're going to start off this week with respiration, with just thanking God for a breath of fresh air. Love you guys. Have a great Monday.